Oh, shoot. Hey, good morning, everybody. Okay, I tried something new again, and it didn't really work. All right, I tried to use something else, and it didn't do it for me. All right, is my microphone working? Good morning, everybody. It's a great day to be alive, as the song goes. Morning, Royce and Jennifer. Hey, Mike Scott, welcome back. Haven't seen you comment for a while. Don't know if you've been here. Hey, Craig. God bless Texas, as we always say. Um, oh my gosh, yes. Jennifer and Royce got new phones. It's a nightmare getting new phones. I absolutely hate. They're like, I rank cell phone companies with as far down as used car salesmen or car salesmen, not used cars, just car salesmen. Okay, I'm going to assume you can hear me. Oh, I'm going to need these. All right, let's go outside. I'm mobile today. I'm not on my phone, but I'm mobile. So that's a big deal. Oh, hang on. I cooked some liver for the dogs, but the poor dogs, they didn't, I didn't have it cooked in time and they were ready for their food. Let's see, where's the other dog? Huh. All right. Somebody let me know if you can hear me, because I really have no way of knowing. All right, look at this. We're mobile. We're outside, but we're limited as to how mobile because of the Starlink. I need to mount the Starlink up in the air so I get a little further. Here we go. Here's a little Sparta. Hey, look. I hope she's able to eat it. Usually I cut her food into small pieces. Oh, good. All right. Thanks, guys. Microphone is working. All right. Now let's see what kind of coverage we get with the internet, because it was particularly important to come outside. Shoot. All right. Well, dang. Just a few minutes ago and all morning, the elk were right up here on my hillside. Some of them were on my property, but most of them weren't. You might be able to see them silhouetted. Ah, shoot. No, they're up there. I took the dogs for a walk earlier and they all ran off, or they didn't all run off. One of them up there that was the closest, he or she bunched them up and ran them away because they saw us. We look like predators, so they are still there. It's just too hard to see, unfortunately. Dang. But yeah, anyway, the elk were around. That's the point there. And we have ducks this morning. That's how I heard the ducks quacking this morning, and I'm really hoping that they stick around. I don't want the coyotes or wildlife to come after the ducks and eat them while they sleep, because ducks are pretty vulnerable. And so this morning, it was still dark, and I heard them quacking. So I ran out there with my pistol and didn't see what it was. But near as I can tell, it was the elk, because a little bit later I went outside and I heard elk all around. I couldn't see them, but they were all around. So I guess they scared off the ducks. They scare easy. So as we all know, ducks don't really have a natural defense except for getting away. So anyway, it's I'm glad they're still there. I'm always concerned that the coyotes are going to get them at night, and so it was good to at least know they're there. Here's my water. Just took the hose off of it. This is I've not been drinking this. I think that the groundwater got into it. I'm not sure, but I need to try it again. Really, I should just have it tested and find out. Hey, Justin, good morning. Glad you made it. Hope you're safe, not dealing with too many crazies. So, anyway, it's nice to have some sunshine. It's a beautiful day. Can't really tell the clouds, but it's mostly overcast, but there's some sun coming in. It's so nice now that it's cool weather and sunshine. It's perfect, but of course it'll be short lasting. It's already getting into the 50s. As soon as it's in the 60s, then I get really hot. So strange to say. I've never been like that. So anyway, um, yeah, yeah. So the elk and the ducks got a little bit of wildlife around here besides coyotes. Wildlife adds a lot. It just makes the place like it's, more alive, that kind of thing. Makes it fun. So maybe I had an idea. It'd be so expensive out here because it's so rocky, but I thought, wouldn't it be cool to fence off my entire acreage and then have a band of wild goats, like goats that I never touched and are afraid of humans, and just let them run in wild and to imitate deer or antelope, which we barely have any of around here. Well, we have zero antelope around here. We barely have any deer. So I thought, well, what if I had some wild goats running around? I initially got the idea from the Count of Monte Cristo because the island where he buried his treasure had goats on it that the sailors or the pirates or whoever had dropped off some goats on this island and let them populate so that they had a place where they could take their boat ashore and then kill a couple of goats for food. So anyway, that way I could replicate wildlife with something besides birds. I think birds get killed off by coyotes too quick out here because there's nothing tall for a bird to sleep in. Like a 8-foot sagebrush is about the tallest they can find usually. There's a few exceptions, but that makes them really vulnerable to coyotes because coyotes can just walk by, find a bird asleep in a bush, jump up and grab it. That's why that's the most common thing that I find around here is bird kills where a bunch of feathers where they've been killed and eaten. So oh shoot. Um yeah. You're getting a lot more ads. Doggone it. I monetized it and then I put low. They gave me a frequency, an ad frequency, and I put it on low. They had low, medium, and high. That's really frustrating. Um, and YouTube is extremely expensive now. It's like $25 for the family plan. So you got to have 5 people to get it down to $5 a month. That looks like The Undertaker. Well, it's a 70s cowboy look that I'm going for. So anyway, that's an idea. But the problem with that goat idea is the fencing. These goats it would take at least 5-foot fencing. And then we're talking a lot of area. So I don't know. I'll probably never do it unless for some reason I get rich. Then it would be cool. So anyway, it'd be fun to just have wild goats running around out here, but of course the county wouldn't like that. Animal management. Oh, hey there. Forget about how wide this hat is. All right. Let's see. Speaking of cowboys, so I watched some westerns. Let's see. watch Wyatt Earp. My brother made because I tried to watch Wyatt Earp a couple years ago, and it's just unwatchable to me. Like poor Kevin Costner, that guy's so hit or miss. Like Dances with Wolves, amazing. Every other movie he's done, it's like you can see his heart, like his intentions are good, and I like that. I like the guy, but he's just kind of cheesy, and he lets modern tropes get in the way of his historical movies. He thinks he thinks he's making a historical story, but he's not. He's throwing in a bunch of feminism and modern viewpoints, but uh yeah. So anyway, but so Wyatt Earp was unwatchable, but my brother edited it. He made a 2 hour and 15-minute version, and it was great. It was fantastic because then I was able to watch it, and then I can appreciate what Kevin Costner did well with that movie. And oh yeah, here when I'm done, I'll walk into the light. Um, so with my brother, with his version, uh, he made it watchable, and like I said, then we can see the good stuff that Kevin Costner did because he does do a lot of really awesome stuff. Um, like it's also cool to watch it with my brother because he knows a lot about Wyatt Earp and Tombstone and all that, and so it's cool to hear his take as we watch it. We pause it once in a while, or if I have a question, then we can pause it and ask him, and then he explains things that he's impressed with that happened in the movie that Kevin Costner picked up on, and so that's really cool. So anyway, really cool to finally get to watch that in a better version. But what I'm noticing about Westerns, so another issue with Westerns that drives me nuts. I mean, we know costuming is bad. We know the ideology, the worldview that's presented is often modern, and that's bad. So that they're not depicting history, they're depicting modern day through a cowboy aesthetic and Old West aesthetic. The other thing now that bugs me about Westerns that I was thinking about, now Tombstone is one of my favorite movies of all time. But there's a scene in there, where I was just thinking of it last night where Wyatt Earp, there's the old man playing Pharaoh, and the guy said, and Wyatt says, "That's an awful lot of money." The guy says, "You can't stand the heat, get out of the fire." And Wyatt says, "You're the doctor." And the guy loses a bunch of money. That guy's got gray hair, big bushy gray beard, great big bushy beard. And it's like, that's a great example of how the people filling up the saloons back then would have been the majority in their 20s and maybe early 30s. I mean, by the time you're that age, I mean, sure, there's going to be some because, like, the saloon was the local place to meet and gather, unless you were a farmer and Christian, then you meet at the general store, which was fairly common, as I understand. That was the alternative to the saloon. All the guys with wives telling them what to do and how to live, and they would meet in the general store. But for the most part, the saloon was where the average people went and met. But for crying out loud, let's get a lot more early 20s guys depicting the Old West, because they were the ones, especially cowboys. They were the ones that were running wild, couldn't wait to get to the saloons, and they would be the ones dropping big money on Pharaoh. And not saying that it can't happen. It's just that, I mean, even in the movie Wyatt Earp, it's like It's like the bad guys, they're always comically old. It's like, why do you have a bunch of 40s guys in their 40s and 50s out roaming around as desperados? Anyway, all right, I'm ranting about, that's my new rant about westerns. This is why I want to make a western, and so fingers crossed. We'll see. That's the kind of stuff that I'm gonna do correctly, and so hopefully I can make hopefully I can make movies well. Hopefully I make a good quality product so that when I rant about this, I can say, "See, here's how you should do it." We'll see. We'll see. It's not easy to make movies, and I'm not talking about technically. Well, I ended up burning my freaking liver. I was cooking a little bit of liver for myself. And I'm not saying, I'm talking about stuff that isn't technically difficult to do. Like, it's not like Kevin Costner's not an amazing movie maker as far as technicality. I'm saying this is the kind of stuff it doesn't cost any more to do it this way, and it doesn't take any technical proficiency. So I'm not trying to say people are bad movie makers and I'm awesome, because that's the opposite. I'm trying to just say, like, when you're casting, it doesn't cost any more to cast people in their early 20s. Not typically. And yeah, and Brad right there made a good point. Hey, Brad, good morning. With war movies, it's always old people. Yeah, I mean, with war movies, the majority of them should be like 18 and 19, and 20, 22, whatever. But, especially in a war, it's mostly, that's when they ramp up new recruits. So there's my microphone thing. Okay, hopefully you guys can hear me well. So, all right, let's see some of your comments. So, looks cool. Hard to believe Earp lived through it all. Yeah, Earp was something else. I mean, I know a lot of people like to say Earp was not all that, but he was actually a very impressive guy. And what we got is a lot of historians who just want to be cool and say, yeah, Earp wasn't anything. He's just all hyped up from Hollywood. Or they say he was just a thug. That's just people that they care more about putting off their about sounding cool than studying history. It's an epidemic, guys. Studying history poorly is an epidemic in this country. We've got too much bad history, and not enough good stuff. And I talk about that all the time. So how do you guys like my new videos? So a friend of mine sent me a link to this guy who lives off grid. I think he's in California or Mexico. And my friend sent me a link telling me he's got ADHD and he doesn't like these live stream videos. So he said, "See, you need to do videos like this. I'd watch that. I'm not sitting and talking." And so I watch this guy's videos, and they're actually good videos. Like, he's good at making them, and he is off grid, so like he's living, it's legit, not one of those fake things. And so it inspired me. I thought, yeah, this is a really good way to depict more. Let's see how far I can walk. This is a great way to depict how I live out here. And so that's why I've been posting those shorts. I thought it was a really good idea. And it's something I can do daily, even though I didn't do one yesterday and probably won't do one today. But it's something I can do quick and easy, and creates a way to show off how I live. But what you won't see from me is that guy is doing push-ups all the time and posting dorky stuff like, I made a promise to myself and gotta push, gotta push through and pushing hard day by day, all that kind of dumb stuff. Like, and then he shows, this is what really gets me. Um, this is what really gets me. He shows all these pictures of him suffering in the cold. Like he's sitting in front of his electric heater and then he's outside doing push-ups and it puts off the wrong image of oh hey, there you can see the sky. Puts off the wrong image of living off grid. Because I don't like that. I'm trying to tell everybody off grid living is superior. I hope that guy wasn't on my videos. Just watched a couple viewers complaining about him. But anyway, this is why I'm complaining about him. Not because I'm a hater. I mean, the guy's doing it, and he's got his social media blew up. Like he gets tons of views, and so that stuff works. But you won't see me doing it. But anyway, because I'm trying to put off the image that this is a superior lifestyle. Like legitimately, this is a viable way to live. Everybody wants to live in a modern house, and because they think they have to, and then the economy sucks. Nobody can own a house these days. Meanwhile, you can live super comfortably in a house that you can build for a few $1,000s. Uh, I mean, you could build this thing twice as big, and two people could live comfortably in it, and cheap, really cheap. But when you got guys like him, he's not doing it right. He's living in a freaking travel trailer and using a generator for electric heat. It looked like in one of his videos he bought a diesel heater, I think, but I haven't seen him using it yet. But anyway, that's an improvement. So you got to get something with good insulation, and you got to use that diesel heat or firewood or both, and then you're going to be comfortable all the time, and use some solar power. So anyway, that's why it bugs me, because I'm trying to show people how comfortable and easy and cheap and viable this lifestyle is. And so he's counterproductive. He gets a lot of clicks and views, but what that does is it reinforces people that, oh yeah, it's neat to watch this guy, but I sure wouldn't want to live that way. I mean, he's young and tough, so he can do it, but makes me glad I'm sitting here in my comfortable couch and living room and watching him suffer. And I don't appreciate that. So even if he is watching it, I'd still say the same thing, and I would even tell him how to improve his life. But I don't appreciate him living like an idiot and making this lifestyle look uncomfortable. So yeah, Brad says it well. Yeah, if you complain and act sad, you get a lot of attention. Yeah. I just won't go there. I just don't care. I'm not phony. I'm not fake. I'm actually happier than I've ever been in life. So, and it's due to this lifestyle getting away. I mean, other growth that I've been going through, but by getting away, it enables a stress-free or a minimal, lower stress life. And I think that's a big part of it, is for me at least, and anybody that has stress, a big part of it is guarding that stress. It's easy to take on projects, and like I love old vehicles. When I grew up, we always had old cars. Me and my dad were always looking for projects, and I enjoy looking for them on Marketplace, but I got to keep telling myself I don't need another vehicle. It's just going to turn into a project or more stress. because opportunity always looks fun. And then once you've bagged it, that's a hunting term for those who don't know, bagged it and brought it home, and then it's the reality. That's why a lot of people have a lot of projects sitting around. And so anyway, you got to guard that stress. Right now, I've got a few projects. I'd like to finish this cabin to make it look nice, and then I can Airbnb it or use it as a guest place. And I'd like to remodel the other cabin, make it really nice. So those projects are pressing. I got to start working with my horses, and I got to fix up my truck. Um, but once I get these things done, these projects, then I'm looking forward to like I'm kind of in a period of building. Got to learn how to film, doing all this learn prep and building, and then I'll have like more of a day to day where I just can be more consistent. So anyway, that's what's going on here. I'm really looking forward to it. And then the projects that I do around here can be more fun, like doing the landscaping work and stuff. That stuff's a lot of fun. And I want to do it because it's fun, but I have other priorities. Um, 'Cause I put a chain around I put a chain around the sagebrush and pull it out with my truck, and it clears things out and it makes it. I like things. I like the room. So that's all I want to do all day, but it's not really priority. Anyway, yeah, if I had land, I'd set up a tent or build a hut if it's a wooded area. Oh, that's Jennifer? Huh. Yeah. Yeah, or if you had land, digging down is a great way to go, like a half submerged house. I think if I were here just starting over, I think that's what I'd start with. Dig like 4 feet deep into the ground and have it half submerged or fully submerged, either way. And then I'd be impervious to the wind. I mean, that's how the animals live, and they survive wintertime by digging down into the ground. So anyway, yeah, but I mean that guy's doing good stuff on one hand, but making the lifestyle look bad. But anyway, he inspired me to realize that I need to start posting those short videos. But what sucks if you guys have seen me on Facebook or Instagram, they show just fine because they show sideways, but YouTube won't let me do it sideways, and they take my sideways videos and slice them to make them TikTok style, and so they're not as good on YouTube currently. So I think what I have to do is start filming it twice and make one for YouTube and one for the other social media. I guess I could try doing them vertical, but I mean, I'm trying to show the landscape here, and that's why I want to film it on landscape. Had to mow his roof. Did he say he was giving his home a haircut? Um, yeah, my teepee was cool, but like I say about teepees are amazing structures, but they're amazing when you need to be portable. Like that's their benefit. They're when you need to be mobile, like nomadic people, that's when teepees really shine. But when you're stationary, like I am, it it's so much easier to be in an insulated, or like I say, a dugout. Uh, it's far superior. And a lot of those tribes that were nomadic, like the Sioux, a lot of them out on the Great Plains, for winter they would have a dugout. They would like I said, they'd dig a pit and put their teepee over the pit. And a lot of times they'd find a draw. They'd have a big canyon that they'd camp in to get out of the wind. And so even the nomadic people that lived out of a teepee, they often had those dugouts, and a lot of those dugout holes are still around. You can see them. Man, it's getting chilly. I was out walking earlier, and look at all that smoke. I was out walking earlier and it was warm. And so I took my jacket off and left the door open, and now it's cold. So I'm going to add some firewood. Get some firewood. And, oh, good. One piece of liver survived. Beef liver is tolerable. I admire anybody who likes liver because it's so healthy. I have to eat it like it's a vitamin. But vitamins, you can just drink some water and swallow them. Liver, you gotta actually taste it and chew on it. But I did acquire a taste for beef liver. It's the most tolerable of all. If you get grain-fed beef. Grass-fed beef, the beef is fine. But I think the liver tastes awful. So I guess a spoonful of sugar might help this go down, but sugar's horrible, guys. I can't believe how much we push sugar in this community. Unfortunately, I can say I'm now sugar-free. I've been in town a few times. I barely buy ice cream because I don't crave it. And the other thing I loved to get when I was in town was maple bars. I love maple bars. Or cake donuts with chocolate on them, if the cake donuts are made well. And old-fashioned with chocolate. Or a good raised chocolate, but those are hard to find. Either the chocolate's not good or they make the raised donut the way I don't like it. And so anyway, maple bars. We've got a place here in town that makes fantastic maple bars. And they sell at 3 locations. So, and they're super cheap at one of the locations. But I can proudly say I don't even buy them anymore. This past couple weeks, I had multiple opportunities where I was driving right by the store, could have stopped like I always do. I just didn't even want it. I don't want the sugar. Sugar is so unhealthy. So, I don't know. Hopefully that inspires somebody else. It is possible to get rid of those bad habits. And I think the way that you get rid of those bad food habits is if you eat healthy. Like, don't just get rid of them, but replace it with healthy habits. Your gut biome adapts to the food that you feed it. And that's why you crave whatever food you like. Like Doritos is another one that was bad for me. And I justify buying those when I was traveling, because they help you stay awake. Help me stay awake. But when you stop and you replace them, your gut biome changes, and then the craving does go away. And then when you associate it, then when you feel healthy from eating good food, and then you eat that garbage that you like to eat, it actually makes you feel bad. It probably makes you feel bad anyway. But if you focus on it, like really, really slow down and realize and make it a mental thing that, oh man, I feel weak because of, and imagine that donut that you ate or whatever you ate, and you associate this bad feeling with that food, and then you'll lose your craving. You can actually get rid of it. So there you go. We got bad eating habits. It's on you now. I just gave you an escape. Okay, couple questions here, but let's get Brad's first because it's kind of on the topic. Love sugar and coffee. Oh my goodness, Brad. I love biscuits too, but to me, sugar isn't a secret ingredient. Sugar is the cheating ingredient. It's like in cooking. If you want to cook and you want to make anything taste good, you either add bacon, cheese, or sugar. It's cheating. Like, make those biscuits taste really good, and then for sweetener, add honey. Now, I know that honey doesn't taste good in coffee. It certainly doesn't replicate sugar. But you should look at how bad sugar is for your teeth, Brad. Maybe you got to start up here, in my opinion. It starts mentally to get rid of those bad habits. I'm not telling you to get rid of that bad habit. I'm just saying if you want to, because I understand. I talk all the time how I don't give up heavy whipping cream in my coffee. So I get you. When you got that coffee that just tastes right, you don't want to mess with it. I totally understand. But sugar just messes up your teeth big time. But it also messes up your body. I guess I'm super sensitive to it, but anyway, I'm kind of glad that I am because it makes it easier to stop eating it. But same with alcohol. Alcohol is really bad. Wine might not be as bad. I'm not sure. There's a lot of people who say it's. But if you can do xylitol, Brad, that xylitol thing, that's the secret weapon for teeth, good healthy teeth. Unfortunately, I can't do xylitol. It was giving me headaches. I think it was giving me headaches. All my life, I've never had headaches, but I have been lately. And it's either from my firebox or from the xylitol or both. I think I have to go through and clean this thing out really bad because I keep getting headaches. And I'll show you what I mean. So I burned a bunch of sagebrush. And I didn't understand what was wrong with sagebrush, but it creates these flakes. Oh shoot. Let's see if I can show you these flakes. This buildup, let's see, there we go. It's hard to tell, but this buildup isn't just normal soot. It's actual flakes. And I first discovered it in the stovepipe, and I knocked it out and cleaned it out, and that made things better. But I think that these flakes might be inside. And what happens is they burn. It comes from I'm pretty sure it comes from the sagebrush. And so those flakes sit in there and they smolder and burn and they let off a dangerous gas. And right now I got smoke coming out for some reason. But they put off a dangerous gas. And that's why I was having a problem for a while, and then I discovered that. But fortunately, I can keep the door open, so it's not like really dangerous for me. But if somebody were closed up, so that's why you don't burn things like juniper and sagebrush. I didn't realize how fast it happened. And so anyway, that's what's going on. The good and the bad. There certainly is stuff to learn. Quit smoking cigars, and it's been about a week, but what I did is the best. The last one, I made myself sick of it. Yeah, nice. Trick my brain into thinking I will get sick off of it next time I smoke. Yeah. That's kept me from smoking pipes. For some reason, I can't smoke a good pipe. It just comes off as harsh because the tobacco's too dry. Even though I tried adding moisture to it. So that helps. That helps me not get into smoking pipes all the time. There's nothing I'd enjoy more than hanging out in the evening, smoking a pipe every night. But I don't want to get into unhealthy habits. I don't eat a bunch of junk food, though. I like buying processed junk foods. I do eat dark chocolate. Oh, yeah, I love dark chocolate, too. I buy raw sugar Back then, apparently, they used molasses or honey. Yeah, they used a lot of, well, sugar was around, white sugar and brown sugar, but white sugar was high end, and that was what would be brought out. I mean, typically, that's what would be brought out for special occasions or when you have guests, or if you're rich, then you always use it. But otherwise, brown sugar and molasses were the common sweeteners. Um, Fructose, I like using fructose when I do put sugar in my coffee, which is really rare. For a while, sometimes I would do it in my afternoon coffee. And I don't know if fructose hurts the teeth the same way as sugar, but it's a refined one, and refined is what's really bad. But I'm fortunate. I don't have a real sweet tooth. I prefer things that are not sweet. So just turned 40 and your check engine light came on. Yeah. Exactly. Nothing like getting old to realize that we all should have taken better care of our bodies. But fortunately, our bodies are amazing machines and can do a lot of recovery and recuperation. So better late than never, as they say, and that's definitely true. So anyway, didn't know I was going to be talking about health. Oh, another one. I'm trying to get kimchi because Casey told me kimchi tastes really good because I'm trying to make my gut healthy, and I've been buying sauerkraut. But man, sauerkraut's like eating liver for me. It's just something I gotta take it like it's medicine, and so I'm hoping kimchi tastes good. Casey loves it, he was saying, so I'm gonna try it. But anyway, been eating raw yogurt and oh, and somebody asked about ice. Yes, I do miss ice, actually, especially in the summertime, because I think, as you guys know, I drink water whatever temperature it is. I don't like make an effort to keep my water particularly cool. I keep it out of the sunshine because the sun grows bacteria in it really quick. Uh, it'll grow that fast, and then you got to be careful. But like when I lived in town, when I was a realtor and lived in town, what I would commonly do was stop at a mini mart or wherever and get a big old cup full of ice water, and I'd drink that through the day. So in my past life, I certainly loved ice water, but out here, there's no ice. But also out here, I was doing the experiment of trying to, live more naturally. And that one year, when it was 110 degrees out for a long stretch, I think that was 2021. It was the most miserable summer because I also hadn't found my shady spot yet. So I was just hiding out in the shade of my horse trailer. We'd move with the shade all day. Anyway, I that year I was drinking hot water. That water was hot. I didn't keep it in the creek or anything. And but yeah, so long story short, I miss ice. And now that I'm using freezers, I could be using ice, but I don't know. I just don't feel like it. What I want to do for ice is I want to dig a hole out here and put drainage on the bottom of it, and then stack ice that I freeze through the winter, like freeze it in buckets and then stack it. And then if I do it that way, then I'll allow myself to have ice. And then, cover it with sawdust like they used to do in the old days, 2 feet of sawdust or whatever. And And then when I want ice, go in there and chip off some and use it for a treat for maybe make some fruit juice. That's how I want to do ice, and I didn't get to it this year, and but maybe next year. We'll see. We'll see. I also have this thing where I want to do everything naturally out here, digging holes by hand, but I've actually got over that. I'm hoping to rent a machine and do some serious digging around here and just get a whole bunch of stuff done, hopefully this year, and get it done quick. So, and then if I do that, I'll dig a hole for ice. And then in the winter time, I will have ice, make ice. All right, all that talk about coffee, and I had to make myself some. Thanks a lot, Brad. Anyway, life's good out here. It's warming up. It's becoming spring, but it's still cool. But we're getting sunshine and perfect temperatures. Like, this is the best time of year. I just wish it was like this longer than 2 weeks. Nah, we'll see. I mean, it's already been a couple weeks. Probably got at least a couple weeks more. And then March 8th, it's going to be daylight savings time is going to change, whichever way that goes. I mean, I know we spring forward, but I don't know the technical name for it. Light. So anyway, it's exciting. Springtime is really exciting. Hopefully I'll get some trees planted soon. And then in 10 years, maybe I'll have some shade. For now, I'm just leaving the sagebrush. It's 8 feet tall. That's going to be my shade. And then I'll have to make shade. Make my own shade. Cheers, folks. Nice. Yeah, exactly, Brad. Brad's a man after my own heart. Plumbing is the other one. Plumbing is the big killer for off-grid living, because if you can't get over having to have water flow for your plumbing, which if you think about it, there again, get into your mind, it's just disgusting when you think about it. I mean, I know a lot of people don't want to talk about this subject, but you go number 2. For me, just go do it, out of sight, out of mind. Never have to think about it again. In modern living conditions, you go use it in your house. To me, that's disgusting. And then it requires at least 1.5 gallons of water. So you're making 1.5 gallons of soup every time, no matter what, at least 1.5 gallons. To me, that's just weird. Just weird. That's how much my mind has changed since living this way. You got to approach this lifestyle that you're open to changes, and understanding that the way that we live, most of the way that we live is not intentional. It's just done because, well, that's how I grew up doing it, and it's what is normal for me. And, like we always say, you go back thousands of years, the way people have lived, and that's not saying that the way that people have lived was right. I mean, you got to take care of your sewage, because that's just downright dangerous if you don't. But there are ways of doing it, and it's just most of what we like is what we're used to. It's not because it's best, it's not because it's good for you. It's just, well, this is normal for me and it makes sense. But if you've ever used a restroom barefoot, you realize really quick how disgusting it is. You don't notice if you're wearing shoes or socks or slippers. This is for men. My grandfather didn't have a toilet till the 90s. I remember some family members have outhouses as a kid. Huh. My grandfather said his dad didn't believe in going in the house too because it's not natural. Yeah, it's disgusting. Uh, that's how much I've moved. I mean, I lived in normal houses all the time, but I've come so far in my mindset that I don't like it when I have to use a public restroom or a modern restroom. You know, like I just go out here, I leave it behind me, I don't touch anything, and yeah. Anyway, hard surfaces is where bacteria lives, folks. All right. This is good coffee. Darn it. Just darn good coffee. This time I remembered to buy bacon. I didn't cook it this morning because, I don't know why. But anyway, I'm going to cook bacon tomorrow. For those of you who don't know, I tried to start a tradition that every week I would buy bacon. However, I got sick of buying bacon because even if you go up to the meat market part of the grocery store where you think you're getting the good quality stuff, bring it home, fry it, and it turns into nothing because it's all fat. And that it's hard to find good bacon is the point. And but years ago, I discovered that if you buy ham, slice it and fry it, it tastes just like bacon, but it's all meat or 95% meat. And yet it still tastes like bacon. And so I bought ham this time. I fried some up last night, and I'm having a hard time cooking over this fire. So I'm going to try to go to propane now, especially now that it's warmed up. So then because I don't have to have a fire all day or all night. And so if I cook with propane, then it's easier to not have a fire going all the time. So anyway, so this week I remembered to buy it, but it's going to be fried ham. And it tastes great. Not to be weird. That's a good way to start a sentence. But if I'm driving through the mountains and have to go, oh yeah, I know what you said. I get it. I'll stop and go in the woods. I'm not waiting until home. See, that's awesome. I could never be that. I used to not be able to be that way. And it frustrated me because I was so needing to be in my home, in my bathroom. That's like I was big that way. But I hated it because when I'd go walking my dogs, like they just stop for 30 seconds, take care of it, and they're done. But for me, if I was out and about, this is when I lived in town. I mean, for me, it meant I had to drive home, take care of it. And I hated that because, I like being minimal, and that's very not minimal. And so when I was hunting, I started practicing. And eventually I figured out, as I do things, it got more and more minimal as I kept experimenting. And now it's just so minimal. The main thing I got to get now is I use this stuff a lot for sterilization. I've gotten really used to just using it. Anything I need to sterilize, I use rubbing alcohol. And I need to get away because that's what sucks is washing your hands when you're out walking around hiking. Like I can make do with leaves and twigs and rocks. I even found out rocks are the best, but there's no way to sterilize your hands. So I got to get a portable container that won't spill and I can carry with me a couple ounces of this. That's the main thing in being on the go. All right, bet you didn't know we were going to talk about this today. But it's such an important aspect of this lifestyle. It's so important. Um, it's like the make or break for a lot of people is this very subject. And it's like I say, to me, it can be the biggest obstacle when setting up this lifestyle. And I get it. And that's what I'm trying to say. I understand. And it's really important. That's why I do talk about it, because it is so important. Not like I like talking about it, but I think it's probably the biggest obstacle, because you can build up a cabin like this, well insulated. It'll easily heat and cool. Make it twice as big. If you make it really simple, you could do it twice as big for probably under $5,000. That's assuming you've already got a trailer, and that's assuming you're in a county like mine where you have to have it on a trailer. So that's not a big obstacle. Like, don't go the RV route. You just suffer. And but then the biggest obstacle is plumbing and waste. So anyway, that's why it's so important to talk about. All right. Well, I tried to get some good photos of the elk, so I'll see how they turned out. But hopefully, Tim's not on here because he's got ADHD and it's boring for him. But I'm hoping he just bought a razor, a Polaris razor. I think it was a Polaris, and he said he wants to come out here. I told him he should bring it out so we can go follow the elk around, make a video of that. He's the guy that recommended I make those short videos, and so we'll see if he makes it out. Who knows? Maybe I'll have my own razor before he makes it out. I'm tempted to buy one of them, really tempted, but I don't think I need it, because I'm gonna do I'm gonna have some stuff done to my truck to make it a little better for off-roading. I've got a Dodge Ram diesel, for those who don't know, and for a long time I didn't know that you could build up the front end, because the front ends are really weak. And the mechanic that I was talking to, he pointed out it's because those engines are so heavy, it puts a lot of strain on the front end. And then you drive through this land where I'm at, where it's all rocky and bumpy, it just tears the front ends up. And that's why I put it into 4 low and just creep on out when I have to drive here. But then recently I found out that you can build them up. That Dodge, or there's parts made, replacement parts that are bulkier and heavier and designed better, so that it's not so weak. So I want to have that done if I sell my property and get some money, and then I can start driving my truck around. And then I really honestly don't need a razor if I can get my truck going. A razor would be nice because it's a smoother, faster ride. And it would be nice because they're just really cool. Mainly the smoother, faster ride. But I'm not in a hurry, and I don't want to own a bunch of vehicles. So if I can just own my truck, so then I can still haul. I like simplicity. Then I can haul my horses, I can haul firewood, and I can go cross country. And with the truck, I want to take the bed off and make a flat bed. And then I got room that I can build my own camper just do 2x4 walls, and then I can sleep in it. Oh, and the other advantage, even though you can drive razors street legal, I think they wear out. They're not like a car where you can get them 200,000 miles on them. I think that like 20,000 miles on a razor is a lot of miles. So why am I spending 10 grand, 15 grand on a razor that I might get 5,000 miles out of on a used one when I could buy a vehicle or use my Dodge and get another 100,000 miles out of it? Because then I can drive long distance and do some off-roading. So anyway, that's what's going on in my life. I want to be able to go to Nevada. Somebody that I know did an off-road cross state trail going from Nevada to Washington, I guess, or Idaho. Went up along the Oregon border. I'd like to do some of that kind of stuff. I know that's not what you're here for. You want to see me doing the historical stuff on horseback. And I want to do that too. But with my dogs old like they are, if I can get a rig going, then that's how I can get out with my dogs. So anyway, now I'm losing viewers on that. So I guess that was really boring. So I'm just kidding. Hey Stanley, good morning. Glad you made it. So anyway, that's what's going on around here. Trying to stay minimal and ignore the lies of society. They put all this cool stuff in front of us and we think we got to have it. Like people always buy so many guns. That's something I mean, I guess I understand it because I used to live in modern society and I had a ton of guns. But what you find out, most guys are not proficient with any gun and yet they own 50. Like I'd rather own one gun and be really good with it than own 50 guns and not be good with any of them. And a big part of being good with guns is keeping it fresh so that you're regularly somebody used a term, it's a skill that diminishes with time. You got to refresh it and keep it up. You can't do that with 50 guns. And one way of getting over that mentally, same with tools and everything, I call Home Depot my storage unit. Is why do I need to buy stuff and keep it in my storage when I can just go get it from Home Depot when I need it? Except for certain tools, of course. But anyway, same with all the guns. I own every gun in town. I just have them stored at all the gun stores. That's a joke, obviously. I'm making a point. I just keep them stored at gun stores. So when I want to go look at them, I just go look through my storage cases in these stores. I don't need to own them, and I don't need to own them. I don't have to have them hanging on my wall. I just the ones that I actually need and use. Jennifer says, "Wish I could ride the Oregon Trail." Yeah. Oh man, I'd love to ride the Oregon Trail and Santa Fe Trail. Problem is, those were the best trails in history, going back thousands of years, and so it made the most sense to put roads on them. Mostly. That's why for me, the next best thing is a lot of states I'm finding out have these cross state trails. Like I think Arizona, New Mexico, Oregon, and then not to mention, there's Jeep trails, off road, cross state trails. Sometimes those hit pavement a little bit. And then there's also hiking and horseback only trails that go cross state. So even though they're not the trails that I would like to ride historically, it's like it's the next best thing. At least I can replicate going long distance. And maybe when my dogs have passed on, God rest their souls, I don't want them to, but then I could finally also do my ride across from my town down to Oregon. It crosses the Indian reservation. And I have a friend who's a Yakima and said he would ride it with me because I have to go as a guest in order to ride it. But every year it didn't work out. And so Like I always say, now my dogs are too old to do it, and so now I gotta wait. But that's one that I still want to do. Anyway, it's funny how people are always like, can't have enough guns, but at the end of the day, you can use one at a time, possibly hand some out to friends if SHTF happens. Ammo you need a lot of. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I wouldn't mind having a few no, a few of the same one, like you said, to hand out to friends in case of need. But yeah, it's just that whole society thing of storing up and owning. Like everybody, we're so dang independent. And I love America. I love being an American. But that ultra independence isn't always the best idea. I mean, we need to go back to some cultural identity and some collaboration and drop the ultra independent mentality. And we got to ask, I mean, when did that come up? I think it was a lot of our bad mentality really ramped up in the 70s, in the 1970s. And I won't go into that too much. I'll do that on my Creekside channel where I talk about everything. But with the rise of all those action movies like Rambo, I love the Rambo movies, but not all of them. But I love some of the Rambo movies. But that, or even John Wayne. Johnny Cash has got a song about Vietnam. He says, uh, I can't remember the first line for the rhyme. Something about in the rain, and nobody tried to be John Wayne. I came home, but Tex did not, and I can't talk about the hit he got. But I got a little tremolo when I talk, and I got anyway. Um, uh, John Wayne also put out that image of the lone badass in war. So anyway, what I'm saying is we get a lot of our mentality, it steers our cultural mindset from movies. If you really think about why do I think the way that I do, where did I ever get this idea that I have, this way that I live, this ultra independence in particular? There's a whole lot of ideas that we have, but focus on that one. Guys, it comes from movies. So we got these weirdos, Hollywood producers that are, as we all know, the sickest of the sick. And they're telling the movie writers and directors, you have to add this. And a lot of times it was the directors too, who are the sickos. And sometimes the writers, a lot of times the writers are good writers, but then the movie makers are what ruined the movies. And then we watch it and we formulate our mentality from it. I mean, I was a teenager when I watched Braveheart and Tombstone. And, I look at that and I model my worldview after I want to be like those guys. It's just how we are. And we got to, instead of denying it, we have to admit it. And that's the first step in taking control of what you believe, because what you believe is how you live. That's what today's theme is. Jennifer Jennifer Royce says, back when I was really hot and heavy into survival. Oh, um, I had an AK-47 with about 1,000 rounds. I realized quickly that if something happened, I could just pick up and go. Couldn't just pick up and go. Yeah. Uh-huh. All right, let's talk about the decision of weaponry. If I was in an in-town location or if I was in the woods, my main weapon would be an AR style 22. I'd have a 100, 200 round magazine on that bad boy, and I'd have a backup. One magazine change would have me a whole bunch of rounds. Because the main thing that I'm learning in battle, the most effective use of a weapon is suppressive fire. Unless you're in a tactical team where you're actually working on a mission. But for any of us, our main goal is either defense or pray and spray and evacuate, because you always want to keep moving. And suppressive fire is how you keep moving. Suppressive fire is just throwing lead downrange to keep people from popping up their heads, and that way you can move. It's the number one tactic that people like us need to be ready for. And that's why if I was in a place where 100 yards is a long distance, I'd just load myself up on 22. The problem is I'm out here in the desert, and those elk I showed you, they were 500, 600 yards away. And that's close out here. I mean, not really close, but if I was going to get, it's not easy to get within 100 yards of those elk. I'm just using that as an example. You got a long, quite a sight distance here. And so that means I need a round that can travel 1,000 yards and still be effective. So anyway, that's a short of making a firearm decision, in my view, giving you guys the tips and strategies that I believe is primary importance. And then, because what primarily wins battles, okay, I'm not getting into too much. I'm talking old timey. Like, the reason we were able to whoop the Indians wasn't because we had better fighting tactics. A lot of times we didn't actually have superior fighting tactics, because we came from that European style of fighting where the other people fought like we did, and then you get, essentially, you could say the Indians were fighting guerrilla style tactics, which were actually, from what I've read, mostly they fought, I don't know about the East Coast, those Indians, but the horseback nomadic types tend to replicate coyote tactics, which would make an interesting video. Yeah, I loved it when I was learning this stuff and seeing it come to life. They replicate more of the animal tactics, which would qualify as guerrilla tactics, which is really hard to fight, and it's really effective. But the reason we won was because superior firepower, range, and like we've read, those of you who've read the Comanche, they could fire off 10 arrows in under a minute, fighting with a muzzleloader that I don't know how fast those guys, I think it was a little under a minute that they could reload. I forget what the fast guys, how quickly they can do, but my goal with a muzzleloader is to do under a minute. Not exactly high priority, so I haven't been practicing, but even, let's say you can do 2 rounds in a minute. So you're getting pelted by arrows in the same amount of time you can fire off 2 rounds. Now, the benefit is, if you got a rifle, which I contend most mountain men and the early frontiersmen carried rifles, not smoothbores, because they had a range of 100 or 200 yards, where the arrows, 50 yards is a long range for an arrow. I mean, especially at horseback, we're talking, I think 25 to 50 yards. And so you can see the distance. And once you have the distance, now you can shoot 150 yards away, start reloading while the others are coming. You might get 2 rounds off before they're even in range of an arrow. And because they're fighting guerrilla tactics, they're not exactly going to come on when they've got 5 guys. Even if you're shooting 40 Indians coming at you and you got 5 guys barricaded with rifles, that's 10 rounds before those 40 Indians are even within range of using their arrows. I mean, they might do a few, to kind of suppressive tactic, but so you can see why. And Indians like to spare their lives. I mean, so did Americans, but from what I see, that's why they had their tactics, was to stay alive. And so, anyway, went off on a tangent there, and I kind of forgot what I was talking about. My point. um, Side piece is a 22 mag. Yeah, 22 mag is a great round. Like I said, though, I would go with 22 because they're so freaking cheap and they are even smaller. But I suppose if I could get a 1 or 200 round mag and run 22 mag, I don't know. It's not an option for me anyway, so I haven't looked into it. Oh, Stanley, my handgun and rifle shoot the same ammo. Yeah, that's the dream. I'd love to have a Winchester and a Colt both shooting 45 long Colt. Problem is, 45 long Colts still like 80 cents or $1 a piece. But then I'd have to get into reloading. Guys who are into reloading really have an edge. But yeah, that would be nice. That would be a sweet combo. Or 44 mag. It's not a historical round, but again, the range. I need a long range out here for modern purposes, defense, post-apocalyptic purposes. So anyway, that's why I don't have an AK. I used to have an AK. I loved that gun, but it's mostly effective like 100 yards. And the rounds are heavy. But man, it was a cool gun. Fun to shoot. All right. Well, hopefully YouTube doesn't demonetize or take this video down for what we're talking about in this communist world we're living in. Communist direction. Don't want anyone to get hit me with that. We're not communist. Anyway, that kind of talk is for the other channel, not this one. So anyway, life is good, folks. Still working toward making my movie in spring and summer. I'm excited about this year. So I think I might bring this to an end. I got some things I need to get done today. And so if I can get an earlier jump on it, that'll help. But thanks for the comments, guys. Everyone's stopping in. Only for entertainment purposes. Yeah. I mean, I've been talking about video games the whole time. I don't know what YouTube's thinking. This is video game strategies. Or for making a movie. Oh, that's something I didn't talk about. So, of course, I want to make Western movies, and that's the first one that I'm working on. But it occurred to me, if I make a Western out here, I got to remodel that cabin to make it look right. But if I was making post-apocalyptic movies, then I wouldn't change a thing. Then I can't remodel. This cabin as it is with the tarp strapped down on it, my other cabin looking like garbage, and my tires up on top of my storage container. All of that's perfect for post-apocalyptic stuff. And then there's a couple old trucks out here across all this property. They're shot up and broke down. It just makes perfect scenery for a post-apocalyptic movie. Because in making a movie, buildings are really hard to get right when you're doing a historical thing. It's expensive when it's a low budget guy like me. So, because I thought about this, because we all know about, let's see, for a few dollars more, or was it Fistful of Dollars? For a Fistful of Dollars was an Italian remake of a Japanese movie. And I watched the Japanese version recently. And, oh, see you, Brad. And then also The Magnificent Seven was a remake of The Seven Samurai. So an American version of a Japanese movie. I watched these Japanese movies recently. They're really good. And they're on Prime, by the way. Or no, HBO. Or both. I don't remember. And I got to thinking, so if I remade these movies, which I don't want to do, but I just like to think about it. If I remade these movies, how would I do it? Because Western has already been done, which is super cool. Taking the samurai era, the samurai era was super cool to watch. And they redid it in a Western era. Great idea. Pulled it off awesome, particularly the spaghetti Westerns version. And I thought, what would I do? And I realized, what if I did a post apocalyptic version of this? And not post apocalyptic like we usually see, where somebody wakes up and they're in this new world, but where post apocalyptic happened a few years ago. The dust has settled and people have created communities and have an established way of life. So you're entering this new world, not not new for the characters in the movie. For them, it's their way of life. Maybe even 10 years down the road, 15 years down the road, where they have communities, they have guards set up, so they're fairly safe, but you still got roaming bandits and that you got to be on the defense for because it's a lawless world. And maybe there is a government being established, but it's under turmoil because people are still fighting for power. So you enter this world that's fairly established, but still very tumultuous. And anyway, that's how I got to thinking about post-apocalyptic movies. And then, because there's a lot of places around our county where you can find old buildings. Maybe there are old power buildings or just old government buildings that are all falling apart, but would be really easy to set up for a post-apocalyptic situation. Um, Making it makeshift roofs, wood stoves, and people out collecting. And so then you create a community and a community. And anyway, that'd be fun. Not enough time to do all the projects a guy can imagine. So anyway, all right, there. That's everything, folks. Once again, thanks for joining in. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for those of you watching. And for those who want to, enjoy my other channel, I'll do that again tomorrow morning, same time, same bat time, different bat channel over on the creek side. And for a warning for those of you who might be new or haven't been there before, that's the one where I get into, I don't limit myself getting into controversial viewpoints and opinions. So this one, you're safe from that. This is just about history and the beauty of living off grid the way that I do. So, all right. Well, thanks, folks. It's been fun, and I'll see you next week, but I'll also see you through the week with my new short video strategy. Adios. Oh, yeah. Remember, life's a lot more fun over on the wild side.